down middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good! Get inside. Unbelievable. Julius Erving. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win it!
From the Miami Arena, the slam dunk competition set to get underway along with Rick Barry and Doug Collins. This is Bob Neal on All-Star Saturday night. And our first one out of the University of Illinois from Phoenix, Kenny Battle. Well, he's warmed up.
Routine. How do you even describe those things?
Well, a little 360 left hand.
You see the fans voting. 8s, 9s, and 10s flashed up on the scoreboard. In a moment will be the tabulation from our judges. There are 5 of them, as we told you before. There it is again. And so our next competitor now is Rex Chapman from the Charlotte Hornets. He's the leading scorer for Charlotte.
Rex Chapman normally does everything off one foot on the run, more like a high jumping style. So you're going to see a lot of different styles in this competition.
So the cumulative total from the 5 judges for Battle on his first dunk was 42.5. 50 perfect, of course. Ooh, Chapman tosses to himself for the two-handed reverse jam.
Yeah, now you see, Bob, when you do something like that, you throw the ball in the air behind your back, you do something a little extra special, it makes it look like it might be a little bit more. We'll watch him again on the replay. Here he comes. Now a little flip from behind his back to the front. 2 hands over the head. Good timing. Nice toss. It just has a better look.
Our next competitor will be Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen coming into his own in his 3rd season. He's averaging highs and scoring rebounds and assists.
Whoa, wait a second. Hey, he's measuring off the old run from the free throw line full court for his first dunk. Where is he going to go from there?
Scottie's not wasting any time.
Michael start from 92 feet away.
I told you, Scottie Pippen can. Guys, the guy's 6'9". He's got a look at his long arms. He can extend. This is a guy that you better watch in this competition.
Well, that's a good way to get off to a start in this one. I mean, doing the full run. He stepped inside the free throw line just a little bit.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, just like about an
2
inch.
inches.
And crammed it in.
Oh, my. Scottie gets 47-2. Scottie Pippen is the early leader. And next up is a former champion, the human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins, a late entry into this competition. He's changing balls as he gets ready for his first dunk. Dominique Wilkins.
You see, Dominique has such great vertical leap, but he also is an exceptional power dunker who does the creativity that you like to see in the dunker. He has all of the elements that you need.
See, he's a 2-foot takeoff guy too, Rick. He gets on and he gets into a 2-foot rhythm. You see him here with a hop. Look at him bring it down.
In his first dunk, a 48.1 to lead the dunkers. Pippen had a 47.2, Chapman a 45.5, Battle a 42.5. Next up, Billy Thompson. Remember him? He was one of the doctors of dunk for Louisville, and he's taking 2 basketballs.
That's creative. You got to do those kind of things. Get the crowd in it too. You talk about wingspan. He's got the wingspan of a condor.
Yes, he does. I tell you, the big thing is he better get him some stickum, because his hands are going to be a little slick from his nerves, and he wants to hold on to the ball. Otherwise, one of them's going to squirt out on him.
1-2. We got them both. That's a 1-2 punch if I ever saw it. Billy Thompson. You hear the crowd cheering. He, of course, of the Miami Heat, a local favorite.
Look at the elevation. First with the right hand, the left hand comes underneath with the right. Excellent dunk.
That's beautiful.
Billy Thompson scored 47.7 points.
What do you get?
47.7, which places Billy Thompson in 2nd place behind Dominique Wilkins, who had a 48.1, and Scottie Pippen is right there with a 47.2, and Kenny Smith will be next. Oh, that was strong, grabbing the rim with one hand, reversing with the other.
Look at Kenny Smith. I mean, look what this young guy is doing, and it's like, go sit down.
So
it's like a lost cause sometimes, boy. A tough spot.
The low score so far came from Kenny Battle from
Kenny
Illinois.
Smith score 43.4
and this one's just barely above the Battle score of 42.5. Kenny Smith got a 43.4. Now, Shawn Kemp, youngest player in the NBA. This 6'10 forward is only 20 years old.
See, I think that right now he's making a mistake. Rick, I think he ought to get something easy.
Oh! Is he all right? yes.
Well, he tried to slap a little extra on that one, but that's good. You got to do it. You got to try and be creative.
But he's got to get this dunk to go down. You want to make sure you get it down. Look at this. I mean, he was real close to. Oh.
Yes, he gets it on the replacement.
See, I'll tell you,
that's strong.
But this is the way he is, Bob. This kid will miss a shot, take an air ball, come back, shoot the next one. He is never intimidated. That brought his competitors up off the bench.
Shawn Kemp, 6'10", from Seattle, only 20 years old. And the score, 49-1. That puts Kemp into the lead ahead of Dominique Wilkins.
Kenny Walker now has had problems with a knee. He was on the injured list with tendonitis in the knee. He's had back spasms. So he will probably only do a 360 and bring it all down.
Yes. Did you talk to him?
But you see the legs. He gets the legs going. He puts a little on. Look at Patrick trying to get the crowd.
But he's not a biased judge, though, at all.
No, not at all. There's Doug talking about the two-hand plant, the 360. Pump it down, kick those legs out, grab onto the rim. I mean, just do things to get the crowd. Make them think you're doing more than you might be doing. That's an outstanding dunk.
That's about a 47 dunk right there if they're really.
Kenny Walker's throw.
They got it right on the button, Doug.
Exactly 47.
Do you play the lottery often? Or?
Well, maybe I need to go. Maybe I need to leave.
Kenny Walker with a 47. Dominique Wilkins in second place now. Kemp in first place. And in third place is Billy Thompson. Remember, 4 advance. And Pippen right now in fourth place with 47-2.
Kenny Battle might as well bring out all stops right now. There's nothing to hold it back. When you're chasing these guys now, you might as well try to be as creative as you can possibly be.
As he dropped the ball down near his knees for the reverse two-handed jam.
So, you know, a dunk like that, Rick, goes so fast, people don't know where that ball has even been. Until we see this on slow motion, you don't really realize what he's doing. Here you see it right here. He goes up, cranks it all the way down between his legs, up over his shoulder.
That'll be 85.3 for the cumulative total, 42.8 on this one. And you can see the wear and tear on the net. The officials are going to go over and straighten it out for Rex Chapman, who will come up next. Rex had a 45-5 on his first one.
His father was a great basketball player in the ABA.
Looks like he's going to try something similar. Yes, Rex Chapman, his 39-inch vertical leap. He gets the bounce and the reverse two-handed jam. But once again, because Shawn Kemp did that first, will this hurt him in the scoring from the judges?
Well, you know, you watch Rex Chapman, you got to remember this kid should still be a senior in college. You got Shawn Kemp, who's 20 years old, so you got a bunch of young guys in there. Kenny Battle.
And the cumulative total for Rex Chapman will be 92-1 as he got a 46-6 on that second dunk. And here comes Scottie Pippen.
That won't do it, I'm afraid.
Probably not enough.
Well, it all depends what happens. But you see, there's really anything special. The 1-foot dunk. But he did kick the legs, which was nice, and came over. I mean, I wish I could have done that just once in my career.
That's a total of a 92-2. So thus far, from the 3 who have performed dunks here in this second round of the first round, Pippen leads with a 92-2. Chapman had a 92-1 and Battle at 85-3.
Got a good chance to maybe be right there in the fourth spot.
Well, he's averaged, what, 46.1 per dunk?
Or
that's
third
not
spot.
bad.
Yeah.
So,
third or fourth spot.
You know what amazes me about these guys? They go over and they're sitting there.
Dominique says this is how you drop it down below the knee and do the reverse jam. Dominique Wilkins, Cliff Levingston, his Atlanta teammate.
Bob, they go over there, and Rick, they go over and they sit down, and they wait, and they just sit there until it's their time to dunk. I would be so stiff trying to get up. These guys, you see them, they come right off and jump about 46 inches in the air. That's incredible.
I know. If you see Nico, of course, see the power he's got. There's the 2-foot, the plant, the clutch down low, same thing. Now, it's the same kind of a dunk that we saw Battle do, but it just looked a heck of a lot more impressive when Dominique did it.
Well, he certainly had more range on the length, the arc of which the ball traveled. Dominique will now have a score of 96-3 to move into first place.
48-2, I think, is too high for what he did on that dunk.
Thompson's in third place going into this. He did one day for the school children, the stay-in-school crowd that came here to watch practice, where he grabbed the side of the backboard up above the rubber protective molding and jammed it on a reverse from the other side, which I liked.
This is what he might be looking to do right here. There you go, Coach. You called it.
There he did. He practiced that this morning. He didn't get his hands above the rubber molding, but only I know that. The judges weren't here to watch this morning.
Rick, I want to tell you something. I've only seen one guy be able to do this one dunk.
Thompson only got a 43-7 on that dunk we saw for a total of 91.4, which places him in fourth place right now. This is Kenny Smith.
Is this one a two-hand between the legs? I mean, two-hand bounce between the legs and then get it off the backboard and dunk it? I've seen him do this. Look at this. This is spectacular. You bounce it between your legs, Rick, off the backboard. You turn and you dunk the ball. This is unbelievable.
Good horse shot. I do this in my backyard, so never lost a game.
Now that's, I mean, can you get as many of these as you want?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
Good question. This one looks like a good one. Yes!
Now, see, that's good. That's big time right there.
That's creative. See, a lot of creativity as David Robinson liked it, but he got a lot of opportunities to do it. He didn't have the power. Of course, he's only 6'3". Remember that, folks. But that still is very creative. A lot of high marks for creativity. Here we'll see it again.
Look
Finally got it on the glass. Up, boom.
And then it's a 180.
Still pretty darn good. I like it. Big score for Kenny Walker.
Kenny Walker comes up now with a total of
Kenny Smith.
Kenny Smith, excuse me, Rick, I'll get to this stuff. With a 93, which places him in second place.
That was great. Now, Sean can't miss here. This is the big problem. He had 49 in that area. He's got to make this dunk.
Not as good as his first one.
Well, his timing wasn't good. The ball was there, and it didn't look as smooth.
Nope, but again, he was out there flying. He did throw it up in the air. You see how the crowd reacted to it. That could have an effect on the judges. Nowhere near as good as his first one. Here he goes. Now I see his running off, but underneath the arms, catches it, pumps it down, throws it in. But he had a lot of movement, a lot of action, and the crowd reacted to that. So we'll see what the judges come up with.
This is the first round, remember, and 4 of these 8 competitors will advance to the semifinals. The top 4 total scores, and that'll be a 98.2. So Kemp got a 49-1 and a 49-1.
I think the judges have fallen in love with Shawn Kemp, too.
Kenny Walker, the defending champion. Kenny had a 47 on his first dunk. Doug told you about his injury problems this year, particularly his lower back. The windmill reverse on the baseline by Kenny Skywalker.
Yeah, gave it the big cup job. Again, tough to get a lot of power in that kind of a dunk, but certainly a good idea as he comes baseline. You see he's got it cupped in the right hand there, the one-leg takeoff from down underneath. Well, you have to have some good acrobatic and body control to do that.
You know, he's actually spinning the other way. Normally you would come around the other way. He's actually spinning, what is that, clockwise. That's a tough dunk.
Kenny Walker, the defending NBA Slam Dunk champion, my guess is will probably get enough points to advance to the round of 4. He gets a 48-2 on that for a total of 95-2. From the Miami Arena, along with Rick Barry and Doug Collins, this is Bob Neal. Let's have a look at the results from the first round. The semifinalists are Shawn Kemp of Seattle, Dominique Wilkins from Atlanta, Kenny Walker from the New York Knicks, and from Sacramento, Kenny Smith. Eliminated were Pippen, Chapman, Thompson, and Kenny Battle. Oh!
But you see again, he has Doug. He get those legs flying, that cup job, and if you get the power with it, that just gets the fans really into it.
Look at his power. He spreads out. He's got his arms flying, legs flying, just all over everything. And he has a sense of where the basket is. You know, I mean, he's moving in the air, and he goes up and finishes that, Rick. I mean, he's looking at a moving target.
That's why he won last year, 49-5, Bob. Woo.
Kenny Walker with a 49-5.
Is that the highest, I think? Isn't it the highest, Bob, yet so far for anybody? The judges are getting warm, I think.
49-6 was the highest by Kenny Smith.
Okay.
And that's what he did. He went conservative on that one.
Yeah, now that doesn't draw big numbers right there, unless it's just because of Dominique. And I'm not trying to come down on him, but that was a routine dunk.
Well, he did almost the same thing Kenny did, but what, he didn't cup it. He's going to go up. He'll go with 360. No cup, just held it up and throws it through. Kenny had a lot more flair on it with the cup and the power and all. Dominique certainly had some power on the dunk, but Walker's dunk was much more impressive and deserved the highest score, I would think.
Yes.
Walker got a 49-5. Let's see what Wilkins draws. There's a great view from the roof.
Power.
Dominique Wilkins scores 48 points.
48 flat for Dominique Wilkins.
I think he really was fortunate to get a score that high.
I agree, Rick.
Now Shawn Kemp from Seattle. Kemp has the most cumulative points coming into this semifinal round with 98.2. He had 2 49-1s in the first round. That was powerful, but the dribble, I agree, may have messed it up just a bit. Now he'll get a 49.5 that would put him ahead of Kenny Walker on his windmill dunk.
That's about a 46.8 right there.
Yeah, plus he didn't take off anywhere near as far out as Scottie Pippen. Let's see where he does wind up hitting. See how far in he hit. I mean, it isn't even close. Of course, he certainly had some good power on the move, but not certainly probably the worst dunk of the three he's done so far.
Each competitor gets 2 dunks plus a replacement here in the semifinal round. The
Sean
top score is 49.5.
47.6
Wilkins had a 48, and that's a 47.6 for Shawn Kemp. Kenny Smith has the highest score so far today, a 49.6 in the first round. Oh, that one's strong.
I tell you, this young guy right here is doing it.
Now watch how he's going to go. See, the ball's behind him. He's got to go back, get it. Now turn around and throw it in. I think it may have forced him to make a more creative dunk.
All right, let's get a view now from Michael Jordan. It's a 49-1 for Kenny Smith. Michael Jordan's with Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. Michael Jordan, the only man to successfully defend his Gatorade Slam Dunk title. What do you like so far?
Well, you know, I think Kenny is defending his title very well, I think, but he's got some great challenges. I think Kenny Smith is the underdog of the situation because you know, he's not quite known as a dunker, but he's very quick. But he's shown some creativity.
He had the Superman flyer as he was going in there that time. Didn't quite look like Michael when he did it, but still a pretty good score, Bob.
A 47.9 for a total of 97.4. The top 2 will advance to the championship round. So Kenny Walker with a 97.4.
I think that might have opened the door for Shawn Kemp here to come up with a big one. Of course, a lot will depend upon what happens with Dominique. But, hey, this is still wide open.
Now, he likes one here. I don't know if he's going to do it where he takes off and then comes over the other side of the basket behind his head.
Ooh. A two-handed windmill jam.
Yeah, normally you see a windmill with only one hand. This time, Neek plants those 2 feet, gets that great vertical lift, and look at boom, takes it around the windmill, 2 hands, back up, and then power.
For a 49.7 and a total of 97.7, and that places Wilkins ahead of Walker, and that's the number to beat. He got it that time.
Yeah, but see, the crowd didn't get as excited about that one either.
They'd seen it before, earlier in the first round. Will the judges feel the same way?
A 48.8 for Shawn Kemp.
A 48.8, which gives Kemp a 46.4, and that would put him in 3rd place. And, of course, only the top 2 will advance. So Kenny Smith has got to do better than a 97.4 to beat Kenny Walker to move to the championship round.
So he needs what? He needs a 48.3 on this one to tie for 2nd.
At which there would be a dunk-off then for the advancement. So a 48.4 would move him into the final round.
I'd say Kenny Smith has done a lot better than I thought he would. I did not think he would be here at this phase of the competition.
A mere 6'3". That was pretty strong on the bounce in a 2-handed reverse jam. But will the style get him enough from the judges?
49.
Whoa!
49.
That means he got into the finals.
98.3, and that means the championship round will be Dominique Wilkins and Kenny Smith. There are 3 dunks in the final round with 1 replacement dunk, and Kenny Smith will go first as Dominique won the flip and elected to go second. Kenny Smith into the row of photographers.
There's not a lot of power. Stepped way inside. Again, at 6'3", you can't expect too much from him. But I tell you, his creativity is what's got him into the finals. Just a nice little run off the 1 foot, about 1.5 to 2 feet inside.
So Kenny Smith awaiting his score. Dominique Wilkins. He got a 48.1 on that one. Now Dominique Wilkins, former champion, late entry. See, they're going conservative. This is playoff dunking.
Watch this right here now. He takes off, and watch how quick this is. This is slow motion. He brings it under and throws it down.
The super slow-mo champion. And speaking of dunking, let's go to Steve Jones and the master, Dr. J.
Well, Doc, we have been sitting up here talking about how difficult the judges have been and how quiet the crowd has been. What do you think about the event so far?
We've seen some exciting dunks, and certainly, you know, I think with this final round right here, you know, Kenny Smith seems to be pulling a Spud Webb.
catching everybody by surprise, because he certainly wasn't one of the favorites.
All right, well, you talked about him. Keep talking about Kenny Smith right now.
Well, what he's doing right now is just showing creativity, and he's done a lot of timing dunks, and he's been nailing them.
All right, let's go back to Bob and Rick and Doug Collins.
Okay, thank you, Steve Jones. First of all, Dominique got a 47.9 on his dunk prior to this one, and now on 49.8 for Kenny Smith.
I think that's great. Again, he did the creativity. That's a very difficult dunk to do. Dominique is showing a sameness to his dunks.
The windmill dunk from Dominique Wilkins. Once again, I think the point is well raised that our judges have seen this a lot, and Dominique Wilkins has been in this competition over and over again, won it back in '85, and we've seen this before from Dominique.
The double pump, and he throws it down with the same kind of power that we've seen the whole contest.
Excuse me, Doug, a 49.7 awarded on that dunk. That's a shock. Smith has 97.9 right now, and it's 97.6 for Dominique, and it's going to go down to the third one. Kenny Smith now for his third dunk. A lob again. He grabbed the rim and followed through. I'll bet he wishes he hadn't done that, because he could have pulled it back down. Now he does have a replacement dunk remaining.
I'll tell you what, that's still a pretty creative dunk right there. The guy had no chance to make it and caught the rim and wound up whipping back. He caught his wrist because he came around from behind his swing.
Getting a ruling from the NBA on this is Kenny Smith. Looks like his wrist is hurting right now. Still no word on it. They say he cannot replace it. The dunk has to miss for you to be able to replace it, so that will count. And he got a 47.2 on it for a total of 145.1. Dominique needs a 47.6 to win. Oh, that's got to get it.
Yeah, but again, you see, it's the same type of dunks that Dominique has been coming up with, and Kenny is extremely creative to get out of that dunk. So,
how about this? Dominique Wilkins' shoe company paid him $100,000 to come to this competition because they're about to come out with a new line of shoes, and I believe he's about to win and get another 20.
Well, here's the two-hand plan again. The two-hand windmill, we've seen it a lot. Great power, great elevation, of course. And it's just unfortunate that Kenny Smith elected to go ahead and finish that dunk off. Had he had a chance to do it over again, we could have seen someone who would have been a new champion.
A 49.2, and Dominique Wilkins is a repeat champion with a total cumulative score in the championship round of a 146.8. Dominique Wilkins, the champion from 1985, is now the champion from 1990. Dominique Wilkins over the underdog, the upstart, the upset-minded Kenny Smith from Sacramento.